Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I'm going to be covering the markets and what could be happening here in the short term and the long term with Bitcoin and the crypto markets in general, and give you my strategy on what we're doing right now to make the most gains out of the upcoming months here. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. All right, so today's video, I'm going to be covering, what exactly is the market cycle like right now and what phases that we could be coming into, because it's like a psychological chart that we're following here for Bitcoin and crypto in general. And as you guys know, there's different, psychological factors in play for the Bitcoin cycle and for crypto in general, and how they can play with your head and mess with your mind and make you, fud your bags and make you scared out of your investments. When you really just need to protect them and try to get ready to add, probably more to your portfolio if we get some scary months ahead. So it's kind of like, 50-50 either way how this could really go. We've had a big cool off recently. We got up to, just under 75,000. I think it was 73, 74,000, somewhere around there. And then we cooled all the way down to like 64,000 something. And now we're back up around the 68,000 range. So it kind of messes with your head. Are we going higher? Are we going lower? And I'll show you the psychological impact of how that has on the market here and what it does. And it's intentionally designed to literally mess with your head and scare you out of your coins so the big boys can buy them at lower prices and push them up and take out the profits and do this, one at a time all over again in this cycle. And it's like up and down, up and down, up and down until they finally get you to where you think everything's going to Mars, and then boom, they take it out right from under you and make you hold the bag until the next through the next bear cycle and into the next bull run. So I want to help you figure out where we could be at in the cycle and how it could be affecting your thought process and the psychological impact it could be having on your portfolio. So let's jump into it here. So, we're at 2.6 trillion market cap. Bitcoin is at 68,000. Ethereum's down to 3,300 again. So we've had a little bit of fluctuation in the market. Solana down to $180. And, we just got a lot of these coins that are down into some, starting to get into some decent buying zones here. But I want to show you Bitcoin's chart here. So we jump into Bitcoin's chart here. And as you can see, we keep getting rejected at this 72,000 level. And this last one here shot us all the way down to that 64,000 something. And I'll just zoom into this a little bit more so we can get a little bit of a better picture here. So let's bring out our measuring tool. And, I'm not no chart expert, so forgive me on this. But if we measure this out here to where we drop down, that was a 17% drop. That's pretty decent for, how bullish the market's been. It's a decent correction. But nothing too dramatic yet. So that's, that's kind of a sign to me that, there's a possibility we could keep going up from here and maybe get a correction in May. Yeah, but, we'd have to blast through this 74,000 level to keep going here. And if we don't do that, we're likely to get rejected and start coming back down to some of these lower levels. We could always come down into this 58,000 level. Or, if it really crashes down, we could get all the way down to this 50,000 level here or something. And I'm not no chart expert, so don't quote me on any of this. But the point of the thing is, if you see this big green candles here where it just shot through this, there's always a chance that if we get down under some of these levels that we could come all the way back down here again, just because there's not a lot of resistance here. So, there's not a lot of resistance on the way down either. So keep that in mind. And that's why there's this big gap here in this one, because, it could drop all the way down here. Whether that'll happen with these Bitcoin ETFs in effect is, questionable or not, but the possibility is there. If we go to the Bitcoin rainbow chart here, I'll show you good examples of this here. This back here in 2015, 2016, it didn't come up as high, so there wasn't as big of a correction. But back here in 2019, it came all the way up here and then came all the way down. And we probably would have come all the way down to like this 5,000 something here and then started to take off again. But we had the COVID event, so this is kind of a wash here. You can't really count that. But you know, as you can see, it got up to, I think it was like 15,000 here, and then came all the way down to, it was like 14,000, and somewhere in that range. I can't zoom in on this very well, but it came all the way down here into this $5,000 range before it started coming back again. So for us to get, you know, all the way up from this 69,000 high here, all the way down to 15,000, and then we came up to a new high of 70-some thousand here, we could come back down into that 50-some thousand range. If we get down into the blue here, you know, over the next several months, you know, it puts us into the 50-some thousand range if that happens. And that's kind of what happened here. We got just down into the light blue though, but we were up into this light green, and that's why there's probably a little bit of a deeper correction. You know, up here, maybe we just come down and touch this blue area, or maybe we get into the dark blue, but maybe we just stay in this light blue area before we come up back up again later on this year. Either way, if we do get a correction, you know, that's the time for me to start really doubling down on my portfolio and get ready for the main bull run. And that's a healthy correction if that were to happen. It's painful if you've been in a lot of gains and you haven't taken any profits out. I've been taking some profits out on some of my coins that are in some really good profit, and I've sold, you know, I sold all my Solana between the $50-some range and the $100 range. And then I put that into ICP at $4, which is now worth like $17 or $18. And then I put some of it into Lit Labs. I put a chunk into that. I got an 8x out of that. And then I took that and I put that into Portal and bought Portal at like 6 cents. And then that turned into, you know, a couple $100,000. So that was well worth it. You know, if Portal stays up in that price range, I can only sell so much per month because of the vesting schedule. But so far, that, you know, that amount has made me, you know, I don't know, $50-some thousand that I've been able to take profit out on already. So, you know, it was a good move to take some of those profits out. And now I've got funds available, so if we do come down into this range, I can stick more money in before we take off again. But we'll have to kind of play it by ear. That's kind of my strategy right now. If we do get a deep correction, I'll just dollar cost average, start buying some of these coins that are really good buys. And right now, there's actually a lot of gaming coins out there. If you look at the gaming coins, there's a lot of them that are really cheap right now compared to what they were just a few months ago. And people are like freaking out because their bags are, you know, down, you know, 40% or something on some of their coins, especially their gaming coins. But to me, it's like, I don't even really care what my portfolio is doing so much right now. I'm more concerned about what it's going to be doing at the end of this year and into 2025. You know, I've been taking some profits and putting them into some of these coins that haven't taken off yet, and some of the coins that haven't even launched yet. So I'm waiting for those to launch, and hopefully, you know, they have a good launch and we go into a main bull run here, and, you know, those turn into some serious profits for me. So we'll take a look at this psychology of a market cycle here. The disbelief sucker was, you know, I think we've passed that phase. That's back here. I think we're more into this hope or optimism here. If you can see, we come way up here, and then we take a big dip before we take off into this main bull run. This could be where we're at now, where we're starting to see this dip here. We come up, and the rally is real, and then boom, they dump you way down here. Painful dump, and then you think, oh no, this could be over with, and then boom, it screams into a main bull run here. So this is a possibility. So you got to kind of keep that in mind. You know, you can see you got all the way up here, and then we had this painful dump, and then we take off again. That's what the market does to you. It really messes with you. You think it's over, and then boom, it takes off again. And nope, oh, now it's over. You know, and you think you're going even higher here, but you don't. You just dump and come back down. So it's really designed to mess with your head, and that's what these big players do. They know how to do this, and they're experts at it. That's how they make millions and billions of dollars with this whole psychology of a market. It's designed to mess with your head and scare you, FUD you out of your bags. If you look at Bitcoin, I think we'll go to the weekly here and take a look at this, and then you can kind of see how that played out here. We took off, dropped down, and took off again, and then the market was over. So if we get this again, you know, it's hard to say if we get a double top again like this, or if we just get a blow off top, or if we just kind of stay around it and come down. But, you know, we could be right in this phase here where we come down and then we take off into a higher bull run, or it's possible that we're, you know, back here and we get this dip, and then we take off into a main bull run. So kind of hard to say what it is, you know, or maybe right here where we come down actually, and then take off in the main bull run. This is kind of where we would be at in the middle of the bear cycle here. The halving would have been, I guess, somewhere in here in 2020, and then we would have taken off into the main bull run. So, you know, it's hard to say what actually is going to happen here, but I think that either way, you know, either way, we're going to come into a main bull run hopefully, and things will take off from here. But my strategy right now is to hold on to the coins that I've got. I'm not going to try to sell anything right now in hopes that we go lower, because we might not. We could take off into a main bull run at any time. You know, with these Bitcoin ETFs, it's really thrown things off, and we've had kind of a white swan event where we screamed up and passed our previous all-time high before the halving. You know, I wasn't expecting that to happen at all. I thought maybe we'd get up to around a $35,000 to $40,000 range or so before we got to the halving, and then we'd get a big correction. But you know, we got all the way up to 70-some thousand, and you know, here we are. So we'll have to play it by ear and see how this goes. But that's pretty much what I have in mind for this strategy, guys. Hope, you know, that kind of gets you in a thought process of, you know, where I'm at, where I think we're at in the market cycle, and what my plan is. You know, and in my opinion, don't let them scare you out of your bags. I don't think the bull run, you know, has even really gotten started yet, and hopefully that's the case. Hopefully it continues to do like it has in the past. And right now we're, you know, just getting started, and maybe we get a correction, maybe we don't. We'll have to play it by ear. But I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me.